Brandon, what did you put up last week? Do you remember?
Midnight Sky.
Yep. And I put up Promising Young Woman. And
we actually got -2 votes for Midnight Sky. First ever. For
I like you people. I like you people. I like you people. Hi, I'm Al. Welcome to CiNEMACHiNE. I'm here with Brandon.
Hello there.
And Ryan.
Howdy.
And this week we are reviewing a movie of your choice. Inter-reviewing. We are inter-reviewing. We're reviewing a movie that all of you picked, but we'll get to that in just a bit. Ryan, do you want to tell them how they can get in touch with us and how they can vote when we give out selections at the end of the show?
Yep. Easiest option would be to drop down in the comments and let us know what movie you want to see reviewed, and also let us know what you think of the episode. If you got any thoughts, we love chatting movies. And I would also recommend that you check out our Instagram at CiNEMACHiNEPod. We have a lot of fun over there, and also love talking movies there.
Thank you very much. So as we said, you get to vote on the movie that we watch every week. Now, we took a break in December, but we're back to all of this in case you're just back for the first time this year. So stay tuned for the wrap up. We'll make sure that you see our 3 choices. We each pick a movie. You all get to vote, and most times make me miserable. So this
nice
week,
sweatshirt, by the way, Al.
Thank you. I got this as a Christmas gift. Now I got to tell you a story about this. So I was over at Brandon's the other day. You guys got me this for Christmas. Thank you very much. I was over at Brandon's the other day.
You're welcome, Al. You're welcome. And I hope you enjoyed it.
It's great. It's fantastic. It's soft. Brandon did 2 things. One, I was just sitting there hanging out talking to Melissa, Brandon's wife, and all of a sudden he comes in, "Merry Christmas," and he just throws it at me.
Maybe you can wear it while you're watching your indie films.
It's like, and I got it. I was like, I was touched, and he goes, "Yeah, we only made one because we know nobody else will buy it. So it's not in the shop. This is the only one. You can't order it." So that's why I was so persnickety on the show. So anyway,
you deserved it, Al.
You deserved it, Al. No, I love it. I literally don't like to
love it
to change out of it because it's so soft on the inside. So if you want to go get some CiNEMAChine gear, please do. This is soft. It's fantastic. So
shameless plug.
Hey, and if you want a Criterion corner,
you don't.
Check
hoodie. It's a hoodie. Let us know. We can put that in the shop
because it's not available.
Yeah, it's been banned. It's been banned. They don't want people having good times. So, no. Make sure you stick around for the wrap up. That way, we can make sure that you see all the movies that we put forth for you to vote for. So, this week, Ryan is the first winner of the new year, 2021. Brandon, what did you put up last week? Do you remember?
Midnight Sky.
Yep. And I put up Promising Young Woman. And
we actually got -2 votes for Midnight Sky. First ever.
I like you people. I like you people. I like you people. So the winner was Ryan's, which was...
Who also tallies the votes, and he always wins. It's getting to be a little suspicious.
Conspiracy theories.
No, Brandon won twice, right? You won twice. Forrest Gump.
Yeah.
And something else.
And Forrest Gump.
Yeah, I think that was it.
I think you won twice. Anyway, I won a couple times. So, we got Archenemy. So we got, this came out December 15th, 2020.
That's it.
So it came out December 15th, 2020, and it was directed by Adam Egypt Mortimer. We don't know the budget, but we do know it had a box office of $115,958, so almost 116. Synopsis is: a teen meets a mysterious man who claims he lost his superpowers after arriving from another dimension. Together, they take to the streets to wipe out a vicious crime boss and his local drug syndicate. I'm going to be honest with you. I always get his name wrong. No, I was going to be honest with you. I always get his name wrong. Joe Manganiello? Manganiello. There we go. As Max Fist. Skyland Brooks as Hamster. Zoli Griggs as Indigo. Paul Scheer as Krieg. Amy Simmons as Cleo. And Glenn Howerton as the manager.
Dennis!
This is the role he's always wanted to play, I feel like.
Is it hard to see anybody else besides?
It is.
Yeah,
I mean, he's got a mustache and sideburns in this. So
I'm not saying he didn't do a good job or anything. But so let's go around the horn. Ryan, since this was your movie, what were your initial thoughts? Like your short, yeah, this is good, this is bad, blah, blah, blah.
It's a movie. You can watch it.
Yeah.
That's right.
Maybe.
So I enjoyed this movie. I will say I didn't enjoy it as much as I was expecting to enjoy it. But when I finished it, I wanted to watch it again.
I didn't enjoy it as much as I thought. I thought I was going to want to watch it 3 times in a row, but instead I just watched it 2 times in a row. So.
No, it's one of those movies for me that it just kind of like over the next couple days, I was just thinking about it a lot after watching it.
Did you rent it again?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
So I'm gonna end up buying it. Spoiler. Yeah. But yeah, so I kind of the way I kind of described this movie when I briefly talked to Brandon about it after I watched it was I felt like it was like Crank / Spider-Verse / Hancock.
Hancock was the Will Smith movie, right?
Yeah, I'm sure you loved it, right?
Charlize Theron, Will
favorite
Smith.
actor ever.
Yep. But so I'll stop there. We can dive in more later.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed it.
Cool. Brandon?
I thought it was solid. Like Ryan, I was a little let down by it in terms of my expectations. This kind of falls into the same kind of reaction that I had for Fat Man. I thought it had a lot of promising elements as far as concept, but I felt like the execution partly wasn't there. Some of that was due to budgetary reasons, but yeah. But yeah, I mean, I thought it was pretty good. I thought the acting, I didn't have any problems with like a lot of the like technical side in terms of like acting, set pieces, that kind of thing. I just felt like some of the budget, the low budget showed through where they wanted to like bring in a little more high concept stuff, and it just looked a little like lacking. And it kind of, the ending kind of lands with a thud for me, but we can get into it later.
All right. Well,
Al?
yeah.
What'd you think?
They tried. Didn't work. They tried. So you guys haven't seen Mandy, right? And I talk about Mandy a fair amount. And this was produced by the director of Mandy.
It's also produced by Elijah Wood's company, what is it called? His production company.
I don't know.
Those. I know
Elijah
as well.
Wood Co.
Yeah.
They do all those like schlocky like B movie.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, he's big into that. But they try. It was like a watered, not even watered down. It was like a high school version of Mandy in a lot of parts. So if you saw Mandy, you would understand what I'm saying. Mandy is like almost high art at some point. I'm not saying it's like the best movie in the world, but it is overtly creative and just has such style. Like if you're watching a Nicholas Wine and Refn movie, you kind of know you're watching a Nicholas Wine and Refn. And I would say that Mandy has a specific style, and the interstitial cartoons and the illustration and everything was just fell flat for me. So, but I did enjoy Hamster and Indigo. I did enjoy those two, the brother sister. I enjoyed them a great deal. The Hamster guy reminds me of the guy that was in Me and Earl and the Dying Girl, and just had a really cool vibe like him. And coming out of that movie, I just wanted to see a lot more with him in it, and I would like to see this guy more, and the Indigo girl. So we'll get into that when we get into cast. But so you guys, it's very well known. You guys have Cape Cast. You guys have more of an interest in comic books and that whole arena more than I do. So that's probably, I'd say, half of my review right there. So I'm not going to try to be cruel to this movie at all, because it's not made for people like me that don't appreciate that arena. So Ryan, this is a comic book, right? Is it?
I know nothing about the backstory other than
I don't know if it's a comic book or not. It just felt like a comic book. But so our graphic novel or whatever.
Sure.
So what did you see a trailer for this? Was this on your 2021 list? What was this?
So I think Brandon sent me this trailer
I think
initially.
I sent it to both of you. I think this trailer came out pretty close, and like Fat Man trailer and this trailer both came out pretty close together. Maybe the same day.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was just the trailer that got me hooked on it. Before I forget, I do want to touch on the animation stuff like you were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
That part of it was very hit and miss for me.
Yeah.
There were parts of it that I really enjoyed, I thought were pretty dynamic, but there were also, like, especially the transitions were a little weak for me.
Mm-hmm.
That the one that sticks in my mind is at the end where he's walking into the building and like the cape shows up on him.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know.
So we'll talk about the animation right quick. I made the whole time I was watching this, I just kept thinking, did they get their post-production done on Fiverr? That's all I could think about. Like, that's exactly what I was like, oh my gosh, this looks like the most, like when they had all their tracking and when they had the words on the buildings and things like that, it just it just looked so poor. Like, it looked like a beginner in After Effects was doing that, and they weren't even, some of them weren't even lined up right. And
when you say the words on the buildings,
like every once in a while somebody would have a thought or something, and they would try to push the story forward with they were trying to be stylistic with they would have, I don't know, I don't want to say they didn't have like Kazam or anything like that pop up, but it was like a line from the movie that would pop up, and it just, I don't know, it just looked like either it was rushed, or like you said, Brandon, they might have run out of budget or whatever, but post-production did not look like a priority, or it didn't look like they had the money to do it. So it kept taking me out of the movie for that. But the interstitial cartoons were just so poorly done and uninteresting. So that took me out of the movie.
The sequences that were, and maybe, I've made it well known on here, I'm a fan of a lot of animated material. The animations, when they were like, those were the entire sequences, there wasn't any real life elements plugged in, or it wasn't a transition phase or whatever. I did enjoy it. I am a big fan. One movie that it was received well but has grown on me a lot is the End of the Spider-Verse movie that came out. I know Brandon's a big fan of it. I definitely got vibes similar to that during those sequences, and I think too, for me, I guess I just understood going into it that the budget was low, so I wasn't even necessarily expecting any animation elements to be that, I don't know, intricate.
Well, it wasn't that I was expecting. I had no expectations, to be honest with you. But it was just that it was so poorly done that it made me, I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, it was terrible, it was the worst movie I ever saw. I'm not saying that. What I am saying is that if you're going to get to the finish line, and then quit the race, don't start the race. You know, like it felt like that's what they did. It felt like they did not finish the movie. And I'm sure we've seen plenty of movies like that, but you had, I don't know. I don't know what the budget was. As we said earlier, we don't really know what the budget was, but it just looked like they didn't, I don't want to say they didn't care. I'm sure they cared because these look like early filmmakers. And you know, if you have the likes of Cosmatos involved and stuff, then you're gonna have people that care. But I'm just saying that it just looked unfinished, and I personally wouldn't have put it out there. It seemed like there maybe a lot hit the cutting room floor, but the performances weren't that great, other than the Indigo and Hamster folks. But let's let Brandon talk a little bit. Brandon, how'd you feel about the illustration and the interstitials and whatnot?
I kind of feel just basically the same way both of you guys feel, as far as like, I'm just not, I think it would have been better to not have that. I mean, I know that they were trying to go for like you were saying, like give it a little bit of style, but because it was so like cheap looking, I just felt like it was more abrasive than something that was like, oh, that's cool. Especially when they, like Ryan was saying, when they transition, like, you know, when you had the little like thing on his head that, and then they transition to another cutscene, or when they're, I think at the end when she's like, you know, she gets his powers and I think she sees like the skyline in his dimension. That one wasn't as bad, but they were, you know, just in the cape thing. I just felt like I'm not a fan. Like, I know Ryan's big into anime. Not that this is like actual like anime style, but it was more, it wasn't very like fluid animation. It's more stylized animation. It's just not my jam. So it's just not going to appeal to me in general, but I just feel like I feel like they should have skimped on that element of the story and put more money into the action beats, because I thought the setting was cool. I liked the whole, like, just like kind of like Fat Man did, where you didn't have to have a lot of like, you can hint at this lore, you can hint at this world building, but like build out the characters and build out the story through the characters. And also, like I said, I felt like the action was just like, okay. Like if it would have had like great action set pieces, like, you know, like we've talked about in like Upgrade, things like that have, you know, really inventive, like cool action set pieces, I think it would have helped this movie a lot and overcame a lot of the budgetary restrictions that the shoddy animation.
It's also like, it is a lot of story to bite off with the budget that they had. Like the visuals they were trying to put together with the budget they had. Like, I can understand how budget could become an issue for the
I think that's why they turned to animation, to try and get that part of the story across.
Because every time they tried to have they were supposed to have a special effect, they threw an animation, and they're like, his arm, when it was supposed to turn into whatever that was, and it came back to him in the middle of the street when he was telling that story and whatnot. It was, you know, you could tell. So I understand that. I can appreciate that. But if you're going to lean on that, budget for good animation if you want your movie to stay together.
Yeah, I think this probably just going to come down to like art style preference, like Brandon was saying. I mean, it is more akin to a lot of anime stuff that is out there, and I do have a tendency to be a fan of that versus others. So it could just be, that could be part of it.
Maybe. But all right, so let's get into the characters. Brandon, how did did any of the characters stand out to you? Did any of the characters fall flat for you?
I didn't really have any problem with any of the characters. I thought all the acting was good. It was good. This might be my first movie I've seen Joe Manganiello in. I guess I saw him in the Pee-wee movie.
Really?
He had a little cameo in that.
You saw Spider-Man.
That's true. Yeah, I did see the first Spider-Man. So he plays Flash in that. So, well, this is the first like leading movie, I guess, that I've seen him.
Sure.
In. I thought he played
a huge Magic Mike fan.
I was about to say,
I have sadly no, not yet. It's on my list to show. So, both of them. But
years.
like I was saying, I thought the brother and sister, both of those actors were strong. I thought they were really believable.
I agree.
And I love seeing Glenn Howerton in this role. I thought I think that Glenn Howerton and Paul Scheer knew what kind of movie they were in, but I wish the rest of the movie knew what this movie, like, I feel like, just like we talked about with Fat Man, I wanted it to be a little more bonkers, balls to the wall, more like a shoot 'em up, Clive Owen type movie.
I would throw Manganiello in that category with him. I felt like he was the same.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that.
Yeah. But yeah, I understand what you're saying.
I thought Paul Scheer was a breath of fresh air for me to see him and just let him go, ape and just be a crazy drug lord.
I thought Manganiello, is that how you say it? I thought he was awful. I thought he's like bad at acting. Like his acting was just terrible, and it felt like everybody else was having to hold him up to me. Like everything I saw him in Pee-wee because I'm a big Pee-wee fan, but he's kind of like anything I've seen him in, he's kind of like the bro dude kind of guy. I think he was on How I Met Your Mother years ago, if I'm not mistaken. So, but anything I've ever seen him in, he's like kind of like watered down.
Just say it, Al. You don't like him because he's got muscles.
Has nothing to
I
do
hope
with
that against him too, but he's actually a super nerd. He's like more nerdy than Ryan and I are.
He's a
Dungeons
and Dragons.
That's good.
Ultra nerd.
I just don't. I think there's a reason that he's.
I'm just saying that's probably why you kind of got that opinion of him, because he does get typecast in like a bro type.
Oh no, I'm just saying that it's not that he's in that. It's that
was he in the theater when you saw The Matrix?
yeah, he was. No, I have nothing against the guy. I think he seems like a pretty nice guy.
Al from the top row.
I can handle him way more than I can handle what's the douchebag that plays Aquaman? What's that guy's name? Jason Longhair. Mr. Longhair. Yeah. So yeah.
Aquaman.
Arthur?
Anyway, yeah. So
Arthur.
he's better than him.
Talks to the fish.
Which that doesn't take much, but I mean, he's just not. He just can't carry a movie, is what I'm saying. It doesn't look like he can carry a movie. It looks like he is a side character, because I've always seen him as a side character, or making some kind of cameo or something. So
I kind of felt like that's interesting, because when I watched this movie, I kind of felt like he was the side character and the kid was the
I felt like Indigo and Hamster were the main the A story, but I still felt like he was supposed to. I mean, he's on the poster and such. So
he's definitely the name, I guess, and probably top billed, I'm sure. But yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with Ryan. I think that he kind of is tertiary compared to Hamster and what's her name?
Yeah, and
Indigo.
And I can appreciate the campiness. Now, the one character that I just couldn't get past at how bad they were was the Cleo chick. She was just bad. Like, there was nothing interesting about her. Like, they built her up and built her up.
She was very dry, for sure.
Built her up and built her up and built her up, and she was just basic. I'm a bad person. Like, just feel like it was like acting camp. Now I noticed her from Pet Sematary. She was just so bad. She wasn't good in Pet Sematary either. So I think she must have a family member in the business or something, because there's no way that she actually auditioned and got this role. There's just no way she had
give an actress.
Somebody's friend was like the grip on this movie or something, and she got a role because
I mean, she was not definitely was not a standout role. I did feel like her character was supposed to be kind of dead inside, so that it didn't bother me as much, I guess.
She's also not in the movie that much.
No, she's not. But when you're building up to who Cleo is the whole movie, it needs to be somebody that's at least quasi interesting, and she just was basic.
Let me ask you this: Would you have been taken, I guess, a more of a liking to her if it was like Katie Sackhoff?
No, I wouldn't be on here right now if it's Katie Sackhoff.
You guys got this show.
You guys would be receiving a letter from me. That's it. No, I'm just.
He gave himself a pink slip.
No, I mean, there's not many people that are as bad as Katie Sackhoff, but I'll put her in that category.
Noted.
Yeah, she just wasn't good. And like I said, whenever she and Max Fist, what a name. When Max Fist and Cleo were like down on, okay, spoilers, when they were down on the ground at the end, and they were both dying or whatever. I just didn't care. I didn't care if I didn't care at all about her dying for sure. I could kind of feel some kind of pull for him. For him, I was. But
I think
I felt more for Hamster and Indigo.
What's weird because you would think that they would have given that moment with Max to Hamster since they had more of a connection with each other than Indigo and Max. And I guess I know that Indigo was like kind of bleeding out, and she needed, not that she knew, I mean, she didn't know that walking over to him would give her his powers, but I wonder
I'm glad that they paid off the blue obsession at the beginning with the blue blood at the end. I was like, halfway through the movie, I was like, are we ever gonna like figure out why she's into blue so much?
Maybe that's why she walked over, because she's like, oh, it's my favorite color. Before I die, I gotta
see it one more time.
Blueberries.
There was one part in this movie where I was like, is he just a cocaine addict and thinks he's a superhero?
Meth head,
well, I think you're meant to kind of like think that, is he just lying? Is he just like a crazy type, PTSD, Vietnam vet type character? I went from
believing it to not believing it to, he's a meth head.
Yeah, because he
was
does.
It meth or coke? I don't know the drugs. I don't know the drugs very well. I'm clean.
Looked like meth to me. See a lot of meth.
Yeah, me and Brandon, all kinds of meth all the time.
Yeah,
loads.
I got all my teeth still. So, I made a few notes during the movie here, and one
stupid.
I know. Well, I didn't have anything better to do, so I wanted to note one of these. I've pretty much talked about the most of them, but
hold on, let me stop you before we get away from characters. I did want to mention briefly. One of the minor characters that I actually really enjoyed was, and I don't even know what his name was, but like the curly-haired guy, it was a kind of a grunt who showed up at her apartment with.
You know who that is?
Other dude? Huh?
I don't know if they still are, but the foreign exchange student on American Pie.
Oh, really?
That's her husband.
Oh, wow.
And they were both actors and stuff. They used to have some kind of reality something or another. They were on some, I don't know how I know that, but you just never forget his bunch of hair. He's got a lot of hair, and you just can't. And so when he popped up, I was like,
he just kind of creeped me out for some reason. Like he was cool with her, and then like flipped out on her. I don't know. It was just kind of a.
He looked nervous.
He looked nervous.
Yeah. His flip out moment I didn't buy, but
no, I didn't either.
Acting wise, but I thought he was solid before that.
Mm-hmm.
The Russian roulette, or whatever you want to call it, that they played.
That's what you call it.
Well, I've never seen people point at each other, so.
Gotcha.
So anyway, that was about the most tension in the movie for me. But I knew that she wasn't going to die. I could tell that she was the character that was going to pull Hamster out of, like, I kind of felt I knew where the story was going. I didn't know the whole story. I'm not saying that, but I knew that she was going to be one of the main characters. They weren't going to kill her yet. So I knew that whenever she clicked it, and then I knew it would be a good comedy beat for them to kill off. Yeah. So, Krieg, I think his name was. So, but anyway, one of the notes I made was they go and change into costumes, to superhero outfits or whatever you want to call them. Completely unnecessary. It was completely unnecessary for Hamster and Indigo to change their clothes period. He put forks on his forearm or something like that. And then Indigo is wearing like Jinko chaps. I don't even know what she was wearing. She was like, there was the dumbest costumes I've ever seen. And I was just like, this is so pointless. Like, usually you see like the montage where they make their costumes or whatever. Hey, that's fine if you don't do that. I'm perfectly fine with that. It's fine if he changes because he is a superhero, but I don't know why they felt like. So that's why I was like, okay, Ryan's going to be able to fill me in on all this if this is really a comic book and that's what they really wear, and maybe this is what the crazies are going to be upset about.
In the movie, I was already on the thinking that this was a drug thing, so he was just kind of whacked out of his mind, and this kid is just so fascinated with
he just happened to find a pink jacket, Letterman jacket with an H on it for hamster.
that one was a little weird, but like,
those
saying,
Jinko chaps were completely stupid. I was like,
that's the part that's like, why?
It was just so stupid. It was just pointless.
I guess I may have just, I don't know if I just missed that.
She had,
I don't know.
like, buttless chaps.
Yeah, but they flared out like the old rave pants. Stupid. And I don't know. I look forward to seeing. They both look like, I don't know how old they are. They look like they might be young 20s. So I look forward to seeing both of them in more movies. But I do suggest everybody that might want to see this, go watch Mandy. For sure. I'm not saying not watch this, but watch Mandy for sure. Maybe a double feature, and you'll see where the inspiration came from. Or, I mean, with Cosmatos producing this, you can't say they aped it. He probably had a hand in it, so it might just be his style. I don't know, but it just wasn't executed the best. So, and again, could be the budget. So, Ryan, is there anything you want to put in there?
No, I did. Kind of like we talked about, I enjoyed having the comedians in there, Paul Scheer and Glenn Howerton. I just felt like it was funny. We were watching it, and Katie's a big fan of How Did This Get Made?
Oh, okay, yeah.
I was like, it's your boy, and she was like, who?
Maybe they'll do an episode on their own movie.
This movie.
One thing that didn't get paid off for me was all the cell phones on the front of the desk. I would like to have seen a scene where
it's his business.
I get it, but I wanted to see them all kind of light up at one time when all the crap was hitting the fan. And
yeah,
not that it would have been important or anything, but it just never paid off. And I don't know. And Hamster's boss, when she got shot, for a split second, I was like, oh, okay, they got me. I thought she was in on it for a split second, and then, so that was a good little trickery.
Well, like, speaking of like just wanting this movie to just take it a little further, like even things like, besides like there not being like a memorable like action sequence, but like you're trying to build up Glenn Howerton's character, the manager, make him like very imposing, whatever. Mm-hmm. And he has that scene where he's like tough guy and he like stuffs the paper in the guy's mouth, and I was just like, paper? Like, do something a little worse than paper, like pour oil in his throat, or do something that's like a little more like gross and like menacing.
Brandon's like, that's what I would have
done.
I
mean,
like if you're trying to set a tone for a character, it's like he puts like spit the paper out. Like it's like all they had budget for was a piece of paper.
And that shootout he had with Indigo was so like short-lived and ended so poorly. So I was like, okay, it was like so anticlimactic.
So what is the connection we're supposed to make with Max and Cleo? And I know that they were married or lovers or whatever, and their proximity brought out his blood to be blue, but did he not get his powers back? Like it just, I don't understand. Like why does that even happen? Why do they? Why is he back having?
Yeah, so that's the kind of stuff that I want to go back and rewatch for, because that was kind of stuff I was thinking about after the fact.
Yeah, I didn't care enough I think that it's supposed to be like a metaphor or something. So
well, I mean, it's kind of that's like
brings out the best.
That's the
in
parallel that Ryan was making with the Hancock connection. That's basically the same thing. Like they get weaker, right? Doesn't Hancock get weaker in proximity to his wife?
Don't we all? Weak in the knees.
There you go. Saved it. But
vegetables.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I just felt like they built up this big confrontation, and then it resolves by him just like jumping out the window, and they die.
Yeah, it was just like okay, and
then
she was just like, I just wanted to see your blood.
Powers.
Yeah.
Again, that's why I want to rewatch it.
I was trying to
like, because all the stuff that happened where he was giving the backstory in the animation sequences, all that happens really fast. So I wasn't sure if I like missed stuff.
It seemed like something to do with like him being so powerful. He started like killing innocent people unintentionally or something, and she was actually trying to stop him from doing that, and so it gave him a little bit of grayness to his powers, and that's why it
sounds like he just got out of hand. Like he just kind of went off the rails, and
so she started being some kind of drug lord murderer herself.
I think she was trying to stop him.
So she was like, I can't stop him, so I'm going to start murdering people and have all these henchmen and everything. So that's, if you can't beat him, join him.
I mean, well, she woke up in a completely new world, so I guess she had to figure out how to make a living, and that was it. Drug lord.
Hey kids, don't go to college.
I'll reserve comment until I rewatch. Then we'll review it again. Huh?
No,
Al, you want to?
No.
You can bring it up in what you've been watching again.
That's right.
Kids. Yeah. So Brandon, you got anything else you want to add?
Nah, I mean, I don't think so.
I can see how you would compare this to Fat Man.
Yeah, I mean,
anticipation-wise.
I thought the trailer was good, just like I thought Fat Man's trailer was good, and I just feel like it's kind of like another one of those like interesting idea, kind of missed opportunity.
Yeah. Sure.
So, y'all ready to vote? Y'all ready to tell us what you would do? Ryan kind of already spilled the beans, so we'll go with him first. Ryan,
I got a more complex answer for you, Al.
Oh, good
Something
Lord.
down the river.
I'd buy it, and then I'd trade it in, and then I would get some money from that.
I'd rip
Resell it.
I'd buy it. I'd rip it to DivX format.
So
you guys have VLC? You should get it.
So Ryan, what would you do?
No, so I would recommend renting this movie. Like Al kind of mentioned, I'm kind of a fanatic when it comes to superhero movies, and I love animated stuff. So I'm just more intrigued to rewatch, and I don't want to pay to rent it again. I'd rather just buy it.
Wasn't it only like $3 more to buy it than rent it?
Yeah, but I gotta get the physical, bro. Come on.
I get it. No, I get it.
What are you laughing at?
I get it. I get it. Yeah.
So I would say rent it.
Okay. Brandon.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say
Stream
rent
it,
too.
whatever.
I mean, like I said, I didn't think it was a bad movie. I just thought it was, it's. I mean, I didn't regret watching it. I mean, it was fine. So yeah, you could rent it.
Mm-hmm. I can't recommend this movie.
Brandon would be okay with that.
I can't recommend this movie. I would say skip this movie completely. It's just, I don't know. I would say look up the cast and look up the hamster and Indigo characters and go see what else they're doing. They're really good. And support Paul Scheer and Glenn Howerton. The rest of it, just, kind of go down the road and just forget everything. Forget this movie. So, and go watch
Sounds
Mandy.
Like a stinker for Al.
Go watch Mandy. Oh, this is worse than a stinker.
What is worse than a stinker, Al? Gotta find a new icon.
Yeah, we don't want to get struck.
I'll let you. No, I'll just let you.
I do want to ask you one more question.
You edit this episode.
Ask you one more question. Now that we've said that, which would you watch first? Again, now Ryan, I kind of know your answer. I'm going to ask Brandon first. Fat Man or Archenemy? Since we compared them so much.
I honestly would say this. I'd say
Okay.
Archenemy over Fat Man, just because I don't think I could. There's nothing that I really want to return to. I don't have any questions about Fat Man. It was pretty straightforward. This one, there were some things that I think I missed out on, just narratively, as far as backstory and things like that. But I probably wouldn't seek either of them out. But if you're asking that question, one or the other, I'd say this one.
Yeah. Ryan.
Archenemy.
Yeah. I would say Fat Man over this, but I probably wouldn't. I don't know. I might watch Fat Man again next Christmas season.
You said it's going to be one that you watch, right? You said you're going to buy it. You're gonna, so
I'm just saying. I'm going to add
it.
it.
People heard it. You have to watch it again.
I'm going to add it to my rotation for Christmas for sure, because it's weird. But yeah, it's not something I'm like dying to see again. So, all right, that's our review of Archenemy. Stick around for the wrap up where we talk about what we've been watching. Brandon gives us the movie news.
Well, we got to go ahead and do our noms, right?
Yep.
That's it then. Well,
Nope,
okay.
It's next.
You just hit the show, but whatever. All right. Brandon, what do you want to nominate for us to vote on?
So this week, I am going to nominate The King of Staten Island. It is on HBO Max. It's Pete Davidson and Bill Burr joints. I think it's what's the guy that directs the comedy
Procedural.
movies?
Sorry.
Judd Apatow. It's Judd Apatow.
Oh, Judd Apatow, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So that's it.
All
That's my nom.
right. Ryan, what do you want to nominate?
It's also for sale on Amazon for like $4.50 or something.
It was.
if you're
It went
looking
up
for
to
a cheap
10.
buy.
It was
Oh,
only
okay.
that
Never
one I
mind.
sent to you.
You
Like an
missed
hour
out.
later, it was back up.
I don't know if you missed out. Go ahead, Ryan.
Well, you haven't seen it.
I don't like the douchebag in it.
All right.
Don't judge a
I'm
book by its
gonna-
cover. Don't judge a movie
No, he's a
by its
douchebag.
actor.
He's a douchebag. He proves it every day. Go
Well,
ahead.
this movie is pretty interesting to me because it's loosely based on his life. It's based on his dad, who was a firefighter and died in 9/11.
9/11, yeah,
So
I know.
you feel bad now, don't you?
No, not really. He's still a douchebag. So,
All right.
Ryan,
Definitely don't want to review that one.
Al's already written his review. Ryan,
I can't stand that kid. Go ahead.
So I'm going to...
King of Staten Island. Second.
Yeah. Roll Tide. I'm going to pick Mad Max Fury Road. It's one I've wanted to revisit for a while.
The Chrome black and white edition. Like,
you can watch that version now.
Yeah.
okay. I've never watched that version.
I was reading some stuff about the new, I guess, prequel they're making, and I just had a hankering to watch it. So that's what I'm nominating.
Okay. All right. I'm sticking with Promising Young Woman. This movie starts streaming this week. So I'm very excited to watch it again. It was my movie of the year for last year. And I really want to talk about it with everybody. And I can't because nobody else has seen it that I know. So please pick that one. I know you won't. Please.
We got votes for it last week.
Yeah.
It's true.
I promise you, this is a movie that you will like. I promise.
Young woman.
See, they chose dude movies. I chose a female movie. I'm with the crowd. Let's do this. That's all I'm saying.
Canceled. This episode is the downfall.
CiNEMACHiNE just struck from YouTube altogether. Well, all right. Stick around for the wrap up for the news and what we've been watching. So be right back. Welcome back for the wrap up where Brandon gives us the movie news and we all talk about what we've been watching this week. Ryan, do you want to tell everybody how they can get in touch with us again?
Yep. Easiest thing to do would be drop down in the comments and let us know your thoughts, whether you liked the episode, whether you didn't. And then we invite you to follow us at CiNEMACHiNE on Instagram. We love talking movies over there. So,
yes, we do. Thank you very much. Now, Brandon, do you have a lot of stories for us this week?
I have a few. It's been a while since we've done this. Surprisingly, not a ton of news. Hollywood tends to kind of shut down around Christmas anyway, so not a ton has came out. But
they knew we weren't doing as many shows, so they were like, "We'll just hold back to get back to work."
Indeed. One of the things that we reported on one of the most recent CiNEMAChiNE eps was that whole Warner Brothers, HBO Max day and date theatrical streaming release schedule for 2021. This week, Ryan sent this over to us, actually, so credit where credit is due. Ryan, thank you for sharing.
Stop.
Warner Brothers is now coming to some sort of agreement with the filmmakers that, and I guess the major stars of these films that were, I guess, kind of bucking them for doing this because it kind of affects their back end, essentially, when it doesn't go theatrical. They are basically working out a payment that regardless of box office sales, they'll still get their performance-based bonuses. How much, I don't know, but that's basically the gist of it. I know that Legendary is like the first studio that's like that had a lot of backlash against because Legendary is like co-releasing Godzilla vs. Kong with Warner Brothers. And apparently didn't know that they were doing this until like the day before or maybe 30 minutes before. I don't know. And so they were like, you didn't even consult us about this. And now it's, but it seems like they've actually came to an agreement or nearing a deal with them first and then are going down the line with the rest of the lot.
Yeah. I mean, I'm glad this is happening because Warner Brothers is catching a lot of flack for doing what they did, but it sounds like they're trying to right that ship.
Yeah, but I mean they're catching flack in a very they're basically not from like didn't seem like it was like general audiences or consumers.
No. I just meant with the creative talent,
right? And we brought it up that nobody's really talking about the reason why these directors and stars are going against this is because it's not because they care about the theatrical experience. They do a little bit, but they mostly care about their money and they don't get as much money with this. So, but now it seems like
they won't tell you that, but that's what's going on.
No, that's it. So, but yeah, Al, you got anything to add to that?
You got to pay the people. I mean, I want to know, do they release the numbers of how many people watched Wonder Woman on HBO?
So they don't, but I did see an article this week that the Nielsen, the Nielsen group that does the measurements and stuff, they're actually now doing that for streaming. They have a way to track that apparently now somehow.
Oh.
So
they did, I can't remember what the numbers were, but for Wonder Woman, they did release for like the first week or something, the streaming boost, like subscriber boost. So I think that's probably what their primary driver is for this whole year.
They better pace themselves on those releases because those subscriptions are going to start dying off.
Well, they are. They're doing basically one a month.
Yeah.
Right. Stupid. Well, yeah. And plus, from what I hear, you guys included, most people didn't like Wonder Woman. So,
well, even still, though, it's still like we were talking about. Even if you didn't like it, and a lot of people did like it, it still was a conversation generator. And that's really at the end of the day, it's like, what is the conversation generator for? Like, do you hear people talk about Netflix original movies? Not often. So it really just depends on if they can put out sustainable releases. And it's not like they're only banking on these movies to sell HBO. HBO has a tremendous catalog of not only movies, but amazing series, very high quality series, documentaries. Sopranos. They have the best, as far as like premium series, TV shows, they're the leader, hands down. Like nobody comes close to HBO, in my opinion.
It's not TV, it's HBO.
Since HBO Max came out, like that's, if I go watch something on streaming, like 75% of the time I'm on HBO Max, whether it's The Sopranos or whatever.
Yeah. Whoa. They did a deal for Warner Brothers, not CiNEMACHiNE. We're not going to give them so much airtime here for the 12 people that are going to watch this. Calm down.
We're just saying that Christopher Nolan's saying that he woke up, or a lot of directors woke up to their movies being put on the worst streaming service is a little bit of an exaggeration and a little hyperbole. Because anybody forget about Quibi? We'll get to that in a minute. I got a story about Quibi.
Do tell.
And HBO Max is, in my opinion, probably the best one. Christopher Nolan's just butthurt. That's all it boils down to. His movie did not save cinemas like he wanted it to. So it's too bad.
Agreed.
All right. Anyway, so that's that. We've got some director/movie/cast announcements. Sometimes we touch upon this stuff. I sent you guys a bunch of them, but I'm going to touch on two of them. One of them is Darren Aronofsky has set his next movie at A24. Al, you'll be excited. And he is doing a movie with Brendan Fraser, of all people. It's called The Whale. And it's interesting because this movie is about a recluse 600-pound man that's eating himself to death, and he hired Brendan Fraser to play him, which is interesting because Brendan Fraser is not the Brendan Fraser of old. He's not the George of the Jungle of Brendan Fraser anymore. So
I showed Katie the Mummy movies for the first time in the last couple of weeks.
All three?
So, unfortunately, yes.
Yeah, you could just stop at the second one. How did your video freeze?
You can stop it.
No, let's listen.
Al's super pumped about this episode tonight because the energy is just contagious.
I do not appreciate Darren Aronofsky. So really? I'm just staying. Yeah, I don't like his movies. I don't like him either. I don't like I don't like how he conducts himself in interviews and stuff either. And I don't like Brendan Fraser, so A24 might be my first strike. So it's like,
well,
I won't watch any more Aronofsky movies. It's just not my thing.
That's surprising. Well, anyway, that's the news on that front. Aronofsky is doing a movie for A24. Thought you'd like it. I'm sorry. You tried. Thank you. All right. So the next thing that I was going to bring up was following Aaron Sorkin's I guess it was his second directorial debut with because didn't he do the Molly's Game movie, Ryan?
I don't know if he was the director for that.
I think he just directed his first movie.
Was Trial of the Chicago 7 the first one? Oh. Maybe he just wrote Molly's Game. For some reason, I thought he directed it.
I don't know.
Anyway,
maybe we should watch a podcast about movies.
I'll look it up later. But anyway, hot off the heels of that, which got received really well on Netflix, he is doing a movie based on Lucille Ball and
Desi Arnaz.
Is that his name? I wanted to say Ricky Ricardo, but no, that's his character's name.
Desi Arnaz, yeah. So my mom is a big Lucy fan. Lucy was heavy rotation in my household, and I being a redhead, I've heard a lot about Lucy, and of course everybody knows you got a lot of explaining to do and all that stuff. So it's very interesting because Desi Arnaz, from my recollection, was shorter than Lucille Ball, because Lucille Ball was a model. I mean, she was like one of the first like women moguls, if you want to look at it that way. She was a big time actress, model, businesswoman. They had their own production company, everything. So she kind of wrote the book on like, hey, this is how my contract's going to go, and you're in the show, you're out of the show. And she helped a lot of people break their careers wide open, and so she was pretty heavy hitter, and from my understanding, she had a lot of drama in her life. So this will be interesting. I remember where I was the day Lucille Ball died. Actually, I was at my great grandparents' house in Birmingham, Alabama, and my mom was sitting on the edge of the couch in the TV room, and I thought my mom was going to be like floored. I was really young. I thought she was going to be distraught, and they had a retrospective for Lucille Ball on like Nick at Night or something, or CBS or something like that, and all these people would talk about Lucy and how Lucy helped them or inspired them or whatever, and it was like a lot of big time people, and we had that on VHS, recorded on VHS for the longest time in my household, and man, we watched that thing like pretty much at least once a week. We'd watch that, and then Nick at Night came out and everything. So I'm pretty excited about this. The other day when you sent this out, I sent this to my mom. My mom's super pumped, so I'll probably take my mom to see this. So pretty excited. I really do highly suggest everybody go out there and look into the life of Lucille Ball, because everybody wants to talk about how Hollywood didn't respect women and things like that. Go look at Lucille Ball. Lucille Ball did not take any guff from nobody, and she was awesome. She was funny, talented, beautiful. She was a redhead. I mean, it's everything you need in a person right there.
Well, three good things.
It's all four. So anyway,
it's like looking in a mirror.
I'm telling you, I thought I was her son.
I'm excited about this. I loved watching I Love Lucy when I was a kid. It was like always on like Nick at Night and stuff. So
yeah, we watched that and Donna Reed.
This Aaron Sorkin. So it takes place a week. It's basically a week during the filming of I Love Lucy, and it's basically kind of a kind of chronicles their on-set and off-set marriage,
and divorce,
and divorce.
Well, if it's a week, maybe not.
It's a similar approach to how Sorkin wrote the Jobs movie, where he just focused on like 3 events, but this is just 1 week. But yeah. So that's that. The other thing that I have real quick is I just thought this was kind of random, but I saw that Roku bought all of Quibi's shows. You know, Quibi ended. We talked about that, I'm pretty sure, a few months ago.
Did they have to buy them, or were they just like kind of yard selling those
for an undisclosed amount?
Buy
Quibi's
one,
like
get
whack-a-mole.
700 free.
Right.
Just keeps.
It's
popping
funny
up.
seeing like the talent that they roped in for these Quibi shows.
Well,
Idris Elba.
They probably got a ton of. They probably
Guillermo
got a ton
del
of
Toro.
VC money and spent it all on cast.
Yeah. Well, I mean, go ahead, Al.
I was gonna say I can't remember the numbers, but I remember when Quibi was coming out, and they were, before it was out, and before you even saw a trailer for the first show or idea of what it was, you heard the kind of whispers about the budget and whatnot, what they were going to spend, and it was in the
1.75 billion was what?
Yeah, I was gonna say it was in the billion, 2 billion range. It was amazing, and then you kept seeing like blah 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 blah, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is the new like. Remember how people used to be like, oh, he's a movie actor and now he's a TV actor. Oh, his career's over. I kind of felt like that about Quibi. I was like, oh no. So it felt like a lot of like, I don't know, C-list actors got, and then they like 1 or 2 would be like B+ list, So yeah, it was.
I mean, they had. I know
Pretty
Idris
rough.
Elba was involved. Kevin Hart, Anna Kendrick, Guillermo del Toro had something on there. Spielberg had something he was involved in. But yeah.
Yeah, I think they just blew a bunch of cash on cast.
I think they. I mean, Brandon, you and I were talking about the other day. The younger generation is absorbing bite-sized shows more and more.
Well,
YouTube is king.
Quibi also came out during the pandemic when the whole like commute, like watch something quickly at the doctor's office or watch something, just didn't make sense. for people. It's like, I'm home, I'm going to watch something long form. And this only works on my phone. They didn't have a TV app at the time. They did right before they completely died. But
yeah, it's the movie pass of streaming. But I mean, I just don't think that it would have lived even if it did have the TV app up front. I think it was I think they may have been a little too early to the party, because I think the reason people take the bite-sized stuff, the reason people accept that is because they want the more personable, hey, like the Mr. Beast and the big YouTubers and such, like, oh, okay, they're like me, but they're doing silly things. And but I will say this about TV and whatnot, the state of TV. I watched the most TV I've watched in about 5 years while I was home for Christmas. I was home for 2 weeks. And everything is a game show now. Every single show on network television is a freaking game show. And it looks like, and they're weird game shows. They're really bad, like game show, like the Masked Singer, Dancer, Cake Maker, whatever. I don't know, but it's just all really bad. So Hollywood, please make more movies. Stop making game shows.
Did you happen to catch Pit Bulls and Parolees on Discovery?
No.
Oh man,
it's great. That was a thing.
It's a great show. Watched a few episodes over the weekend when I was in the mountains and had to watch regular TV.
Oh yeah.
3 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah. So I'll have to get that when it comes out on 4K.
It's riveting.
Mm-hmm.
It's good stuff.
RV anyway. Nation. My dad.
Hey, you remember that Vannon documentary that we watched?
Vannon?
Yeah, you don't remember that documentary?
Oh yeah,
about the van life.
Yeah,
people?
yeah. That was.
People should watch that. That was entertaining.
That's a interesting group of people.
That's going to be on my nomination next week.
It's an interesting group of people. I almost forgot about that. Yeah, but no, I'm just saying that some of these game shows and stuff, it just shows you how like stupid people really are nowadays. Like people really don't care about what they put into their brains anymore. It's like, good golly. Like Ryan, at least he's reading Star Wars books left and right, so he's keeping his brain afloat. But everybody else is just like, it's become an idiocracy so quickly. People just like biting and just eating and watching 12 strings at one time. It's like, good Lord.
That's what plants crave.
I'm just waiting for Mountain Dew to become the water. Yeah.
I tried to find that movie on Blu-ray.
Yeah.
Non-existent.
Really?
It's crazy. There's like a copy for like $120 on eBay.
Well, it's gonna become a Discovery Channel show pretty soon because it's a freaking documentary. But holy handbags, man! Those game shows are bad. I didn't mean to interrupt your news, but it's a bad state out there. People, stop being so stupid and
I think too, a lot of people with all the streaming services, all the good talent, writing talent goes to more premium.
Good golly. Reality shows and game shows, and people just like wonder why they can't keep a job. It's like, because that right there, you're stupid. You turned stupid overnight. You didn't realize you turned stupid, but just give your college degrees back. You're stupid now. Okay? If you watch that, you're stupid.
This is going to be a good clip to pull.
You're stupid. I'll keep saying it. You're stupid. You're stupid. I'm not the smartest person in the world. I'm not saying that at all. I'm pretty stupid myself, but people, you're stupid. Like, it's pretty bad. So, anyway.
There you go. Well, that's all I got.
Okay.
Well.
Thanks, Brandon.
This is like this episode's like an Al rant.
I couldn't take it. Like, I was watching
Al, is Matrix on your watch of the week?
No. No.
It's the only thing you could explain.
It's not what's got me fired up. No, it just depresses me that there's so much good storytelling.
You don't have to continue. You don't have to keep talking about it.
It's all right.
It just depresses me. So, all right.
Sounds like a Criterion Corner special.
The more you know.
Put it over there with all the other depressed people.
Sitting in their cars talking about their Criterion movies. They got them Criterions. All right. So today, right now, we're going to talk about what we watched this week. I'm like still in the land of
Al's
rant.
just like really got his hair down tonight. Oh, today, right now, whatever.
By the way, seltzer water in this cup, if you're wondering. So, yeah, so we're going to talk about what we've been watching this week. I did not watch game shows this week, so I won't go off on that rant again. Ryan, let's start with you. What have you been watching?
So I went, I guess, on Saturday.
Yes.
An AMC in Atlanta was showing Alien, 1979 Alien.
Nice.
In theaters. So I went with my wife and her parents. Her dad had never seen the movie.
What?
Is not a fan of horror films at all. Her mom had seen it but apparently forgotten it, and Katie thought she had seen it but had not seen it.
Nice.
So and I will say, first off, I was just really pumped to go see this movie in a theater.
Movie's awesome.
Because I love these movies. And it did not disappoint. The Thing it's crazy how well that movie holds up.
Even with
the time it came out.
At the end, like
Yeah, there's a couple sequences where like the little thing scurries across the table, or they've obviously got the alien on a cart and they don't, they're just kind of rolling it around. But other than that, I mean, this movie is just awesome.
it has so much tension in that movie, and
It does, and
it's just like The Shining for me. I can watch it 100 times in a row, and I still get tense in the same, like even in some other spots sometimes. And Sigourney Weaver was just so good in that movie. It's just
I would
fantastic.
highly. So AMC is doing this where they're showing a lot of kind of older films in theaters right now to try and make cash. So if you are an Alien fan, I would check out their app and see if this, because I got an email about it. That's how I figured it out. But see if this movie is playing anywhere near you, because it is totally worth it.
What was the ticket price?
$5.
Not bad. Not bad
Yeah.
at all.
It's
It cost
awesome.
me $175 to go see Promising Young Woman. I had to take out a student loan. I don't even go to college anymore. So fantastic. So all right.
Yeah, it's
well, that's
phenomenal.
awesome. Brandon, you've seen Alien, right?
Yes.
All right. We have to check sometimes. All right. It's not Indiana Jones
I own
and
two
the
copies
Alien.
of it. Al.
That's right. I did. Yeah. All right. So, Ryan, what else did you watch?
So I've kind of talked to you about this a little bit. I have started rewatching The Sopranos on HBO.
Man, are you just trying to butter me up tonight? Like, what's happening?
Al's so mad and angry tonight. I changed all my watch of the weeks to make
It was
him
all
happy.
DC animation. And I watched BVS 5 times, but I'm really going to talk about this stuff.
Yeah. This show's just, it's awesome.
It's the best show I've ever seen. I said it last week. And
Yeah.
everybody, Brandon won't watch it because old.
I'm not against watching it. I'm just.
But
You
he's
should
not
put
going
it on. You should put it on when you're just like low key, not paying attention, and see if you get kind of drawn into it. Just give it a try.
Well, here's the thing about that, Ryan. I have to be very intentional with my watching. I can't just put things on because I have a little girl runs around and repeats whatever she hears.
You tell me that you watch stuff with Melissa before you go to bed.
Yeah,
all the time.
but that's intentional. I can't just like put it on. Like I'll be intentionally watching it.
I think it's an intentional show.
Whatever.
I think it's
Intentionally
something- yeah.
watch it.
I think it's a good
Well, that's
show.
not what you said.
But yeah, oh man, this show is so good. And now they have like 675 Sopranos podcasts. So if you do go and watch The Sopranos, then you can go and listen to the cast and the David Chase himself, the creator, the writers, some of the crew. You can hear them all talk about what happened during this episode and that episode. And some of them even, Michael Imperioli has one where they talk about the specific episode. Now, I used to own the DVD box sets, and I listened to all the commentaries, everything. I've gone through this series probably 5 or 6 times. So it's great.
I will say I'm generally not a huge fan of rewatching TV shows, and I think this is my 4th go around with it.
Yeah, it's just it goes down so easy.
And the show's hilarious.
It's
awesome.
so funny.
It's amazing.
And speaking of funny, if you want to see something hilarious,
Brandon's like,
go watch Mad TV's PAX TV version of The Sopranos, where it's like cutting out all the expletives and whatnot. Oh man, Will Sasso does spot on Tony Soprano.
Yeah,
it is spot
nice.
on. What's the gabagool? So it's. Sopranos. I want to buy the Blu-ray box set, get all the digital and everything, but
I will at some point. It was on sale for a while, but I just never pulled the trigger.
I never pulled the trigger on the sale. I'm like, there's like 6 other things I wanted at the time, and I've seen them, like I said, 5 or 6 times. And everybody's like, well, you got HBO Max. Yeah, I could watch it there, but then I don't have the commentaries and behind the scenes, and I'm telling you, those commentaries, Ryan, your next go around, listen to it with commentaries. It's really good.
Cool. And then my last thing that I've got.
See how excited I get about good stuff? See, I'm nice.
Like me, love me. Love me. Brandon, looks like you watched this as well.
It's my only entry on my watch of the week, so we can talk about it together.
Then.
Yeah,
so
you start.
Watch the first of the 2-part Tiger documentary, Tiger Woods documentary on HBO, and it's so good.
Yeah, it's really good.
It's an amazing story, and documentary is amazing. And I'm a full disclosure too. I love golfing. My dad just got me into it when I was really young, and
Are you 3?
Not 3, no. At 3 months, I was swinging a golf club. That's what his dad says, basically. So this one's just it's awesome. It's very akin to the Michael Jordan documentary,
Last Dance. It's a Bulls documentary, to be fair. I didn't know that it was a multi-part thing until the first episode ended.
Gotcha.
And that scene that it ends on, I was just like, ugh.
Yeah. I think that's exactly what they wanted to end on.
Melissa had she had dozed off, she fell asleep, and then that scene came on, and I just went, ugh. And she goes, who is that? And I was like, I think that's the mistress lady.
Yeah. I grew up watching Tiger Woods as part of the sport. I told Katie last night that it's kind of like, sorry, Brandon, I'm gonna get a little sportsy on you here. It's kind of like the Braves in the 90s with Maddox and Glavine. I wish that I had been around before.
I know these people. I mean, I followed sports then.
I wish that I had been around and following baseball before I got to see them come into the game and change the game. I felt the same way about Tiger Woods.
You mean you wish you were alive before? Because you were
Well, I'm just saying, like, you get the idea. Because he was just he changed the game of golf. There's no way.
Oh yeah, I mean, it doesn't even matter if he's having a bad day. The ratings for golf go through the roof.
Look at any tournament when Tiger's participating or not. I mean, went to an East Lake tournament, and if you look at in person, you go follow the different groupings. Tiger's grouping just dwarfs.
Even Ron Swanson's inspired by Tiger Woods.
So,
red shirt.
Yep, Sunday Reds. But yeah, so if you haven't checked that out yet, I would highly recommend that you do so.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, I didn't know really anything about I knew that he started playing when he was young, but I didn't know anything about his dad or his mom or anything. So that's all been really interesting to dive into.
Watch anything else?
It kind of makes you feel bad for him, honestly, as far as, I mean, not feel bad for him as far as, like, obviously he's super successful, but like how strict of a regiment his dad had him on golf, and how it was like, he was bred as a machine, basically. Right, yeah.
And then the stuff, I don't want to spoil it.
His dad was Green Beret or something. What was
he was military or something. It was really sad when his dad died.
Also, yeah, his dad also, he's a good father, but he also made a lot of mistakes that were terrible mistakes.
It's kind of like a sins of the father type story a little bit, it seems, as far as knowing his dad's history.
Yeah. I don't think there's ever been a perfect parent, but,
Yeah, what he did was pretty bad, though.
I'm sure.
Have you seen it? You haven't watched it yet, Al, have you?
No, I still haven't seen the Bulls documentary.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. Did you watch anything else? Either one of you?
Nope.
I mean, I watched Always Sunny every night, but that's nothing new.
Just change for a week, Brandon. Just put on Sopranos. 1 week.
Maybe. I'm telling you, it's daunting. It's a lot of stuff. I mean, if I start it,
but just try it. I'm not saying commit to it. Just try it. Just try it.
I mean, I still got to record podcasts about movies y'all want to watch, and movies that you nominate and win. I got to watch those things again. I got time. Sorry. That's all I got. Al, what'd you watch?
Ryan, you didn't watch any more sports this week?
All right. I think you guys can carry it from here. I'm gonna jet.
Boop, boop. Ryan's
Full
going.
disclosure, Ryan's a Buckeye fan. Al's a Roll Tide fan.
I'm a Roll Tide fan too. I love saying it. I'm a fan of the phrase Roll Tide. I don't care about Alabama, but I love saying Roll Tide. It's like my new favorite thing to do.
Until somebody asks you about the game.
Yeah.
No, he loves that too.
So, no.
Well, yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes, huh?
I ingested a lot of greatness this week. For Christmas, I got from my mom. I got the Arrow copy of Tremors.
Fancy.
So I watched this. This is a great set, by the way. If you're a Tremors fan, it's fantastic. I watched that. It's fantastic. It's 2 disc, a lot of special features. It's fun to watch all the miniatures, and it's just fun to watch how they made a movie back in. I think they made it in 1989. It was released in 1990, roughly. Kevin Bacon, Fred Ward. It's a campy movie, but it is.
You're darn right, it's campy.
It's fantastic. It goes down smooth. So,
Brandon, have you seen Tremors?
Yeah. First 2.
Okay.
Yeah. So then I watched Tremors 2.
And 3. And 4.
Then I watched Tremors 4 because 3 wasn't streaming. Then I watched Tremors 6 because 5 wasn't streaming. And then I watched Tremors 7. So,
how would you rank them?
1, 2, none of the others matter. So it's like 7 is better than 6. Jamie Kennedy is in 5 and 6. Not that I watched 5, but 6. And I think this tells you everything you need to know. Jamie Kennedy elevated 6 to where it was like, oh, there's some acting in this. It's like, it's so bad. And so in the original 2, it's puppets and practical effects and whatnot. I think it's 3 when they start doing CG, maybe 4 when they start doing CG. 4 is a prequel where they're back in the Old West, and the town is called Perfection. It is, some craziness going on. It's a lot of fun watching these. Number 7 just came out this year. It's so 2 of them are on Netflix. All but 3 and 5 are on Stars. So watched all of that, had a great time. I was laughing hysterically. The funny thing about part 2 is Kevin Bacon doesn't return because he kind of blew up after that, I guess. I don't know. So so they have a new guy that's Fred Ward's sidekick. And they just kept referencing him as the new guy. Hey, you're the new guy, right? You're not, So And then they got desperate in 6 where
They got desperate in 6.
yeah, it was pretty bad. They were trying to tie
they did.
it. So the one character isn't all of the movies. The one crazy gun nut, Bert. So he's in all of them. They're not in the Town of Perfection the whole time, but in 6, man, it is. You know how they shoot day for night? They shot desert for snow in 6, and
Good call.
they shot it in a desert. And I was like, this is a desert. So they shot it in a desert, and then they just like washed it out, like just cranked up like all the levels and put like a blue filter over it to make it look like it was cold. It was just so bad. The acting was
It's like a cactus.
yeah, like tumbleweed goes by. Woo! And people were walking around with their coats wide open with tank tops and everything. And so they did that for like the first 15, 20 minutes of the movie. And they were on satellite phones and like trying to get the guy out there to help them with the. Do either of you know what the monsters are called?
Tremors.
Graboids. Yeah. Yeah. And they have a good explanation as to why they're called graboids in the first one. So it actually makes sense. But in the 6th one, they just give up. They're like, well, we can't have this desert look like like Antarctica or wherever they were trying to look like they were at the whole movie. So they just like, oh, now we're on this other side of the mountain and it's all desert and everybody's wearing tank tops and it's hot on that side of the mountain, but it's like cold on the other side of the mountain. It's like, good Lord. And they're like a quarter of a mile away from the other side of the mountain. So it's not like they're that far away. So, yeah, that movie was tough. It was hard to get through. But I did it for the show, guys. I did it for the show. I
Appreciate
put
it.
myself through all.
You didn't have to, but thanks.
Yeah, I did it. But I do plan on buying part 2. Part 2 was fun. Part 2 was
I
a lot
remember
of fun.
liking part 2 a lot when I was a kid.
It was campy. It was so campy and cheesy, but lots of fun. But there's a formula. I didn't realize there was a Tremors TV show at one point. So there's a lot of Tremors going on. But I was like, oh my gosh, I got so many Tremors movies to watch. So I was literally watching Tremors movies. And like, I had it on in the car. I had it on when I was going to bed at night. I was like, good Lord, there's a lot of Tremors. And so, yeah, it was fun. I'll say it's fun. It was fun to kind of watch. But it seems like every few years they put out a new Tremors movie. It's like they're just trying to hold on to the licensing of the property. So I get it. Mm-hmm. So I have a feeling that they're going to revamp Tremors in the next 2-3 years. It just the way 7 ends.
They'll
just do a direct sequel to the Kevin Bacon one and bring Kevin Bacon back.
Yeah. Well, his daughter shows up, not his daughter, but his character's daughter shows up in part 6. And it's just like, so Bert shows up and she's like, my dad told me you were great. And he's like, whose son are you? Or whose daughter are you? And she's like, Val and blah, blah, blah. And Kevin, and she's like, oh. And she's like, thanks, Mr. Bert. And it's like, all of a sudden they're friends. Like within 12 seconds, they know each other. It's like,
Mr. Bert.
It's pretty terrible. But anyway, so watched that. And then I watched, while I was on Netflix watching 6 and 7, I saw Blue Ruin and I clicked on that and then I hit more like this and a movie popped up called Bad Day for the Cut. And this movie, it's an Irish movie. This is a good movie for about 2/3 or maybe a half. maybe a half the movie is good. I was like, wow, this is fun. I'm really excited to report on this. And then they just gave up on the movie, I think. You just don't care anymore by the end of the movie. Like, so the whole movie is about this farmer, probably in his 50s. His mom lives with him, and she can fend for herself and whatnot, but she needs some help with certain things. And he just lives a real modest life. And one night, somebody shows up at his house. He's out in his barn, and somebody kills his mom, and he runs out, sees the people driving away, and he goes on a killing spree, trying to figure out why somebody killed his mom. And it's a good story. It's a really good story, but just it went a little like they could have cut some of the fat, and it felt like, and I'm not saying this happened, but it felt like they made the movie and then they had to take about a year off and then finish the movie, because it felt like they were just like, okay, we'll finish it at the end. And by the end of the movie, it's just like, I can't, really suggest this movie, but I was hoping to find something kind of like Blue Ruin in that vein. And for the first half of the movie, it really felt like it wasn't as grotesque as Blue Ruin, but it was a good story like Blue Ruin, and had the same type of feel. So it wasn't as gritty, but it still had that same kind of tension. So it was really nice. So that's what I watched.
Nice.
Cool.
So,
Well, thanks for sharing now.
it was a lot. I do suggest everybody.
Tremors movies.
You did it to yourself.
Well, I actually want to watch Tremors 1 and 2 again. I am very eager to do that. No, this set is great. Like these Arrow sets, like these right here. I have RoboCop like this as well. And these sets are fantastic. Lots of really cool
Brandon,
features.
you should watch that movie.
RoboCop? Yeah. I can't understand why you don't see that. But anyway, Indiana Jones. So I highly suggest that.
Building.
I highly suggest that everybody just go out and grab the special edition Tremors from Arrow and the special edition RoboCop from Arrow. And while you're there, check out and see if they have another movie that you like. They really do. They're right behind Criterion, in my opinion, as far as taking care of movies.
You have to start another channel.
The
Starts with an A, though.
Arrow
It doesn't work.
Corner.
Yeah. So, anyway. All right. Well, fellas, it's been fun.
Ow.
It's been real fun. Yeah. Everybody, thanks for tuning in to CiNEMACHiNE. We have a lot of fun. I really want you guys to watch Promising Young Woman, because I want to talk about a good movie next week. And I really want to talk about this movie, period. So please,
Well, hopefully we're all going to be able to watch it this week. We'll see.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're not going to tell y'all how we're going to watch it, because then we won't be able to watch it. So
We're lessen our chances.
but please vote for it, because it's fantastic. So
Let's put this episode out on Friday.
yeah. Yes. How about 7 p.m. on Thursday? Everybody, thanks for tuning in to CiNEMACHiNE. Until we see you next time.
Ryan, you want to tell everybody where they can find us?
He just jumps right in.
Well,
Yeah, I know.
it's
I
on
know,
it's on the show
I don't want
notes.
you to find us. I don't want you to find us. I'm tired of being
Al's had
found.
enough. Yeah.
So if you're still listening,
Al doesn't want.
you can find us
He
at...
can't take any more bad press.
Sorry, I'm in championship
yes.
mode.
That's funny. We invite you to scroll down and let us know what you think of the episode in the comments. But also, please follow us on Instagram at CiNEMACHiNEPod. We love talking movies, and we keep you updated there on what we're watching and some Blu-ray sales and all kinds of other stuff. So, Al?
Yeah. Everybody, keep watching many, many movies until we see you next time on CiNEMACHiNE. See you next time.
So long.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.